Greetings, visionaries. This is your host, the INFJ Visionary. Welcome to the new year and welcome to the broadcast. Couple things we're going to talk about today. I did do a quick survey of my YouTube feed and the various INFJ content it's offering up to me, and I don't know about you, but I gotta say something here. I don't want people telling me how I feel. I don't get that. Don't tell me how I feel. Does that work? Is that working for you? Is that the kind of content you're consuming? Well, somebody must be. I don't know. I don't want you telling me how I feel, and I really don't want you telling me what I am either. And when my assistants help me to craft the descriptions for these things, they constantly trying to pivot into that. So if any of that does slip through, it ain't coming from me. I'm not here to tell you what you are. I'm here to tell you what I think about life and reality from the standpoint of an INFJ, and I'm assuming that because INFJ is on the title, I'm going to clear my throat here, that you're probably an INFJ tuning in just to hear the point of view of another INFJ. And maybe you'll glean some insights, because that's how communication works. We talk to other people and they put us on to things that we didn't know about, or thoughts we haven't thought before, and then we're in a whole new world. That's the wonderful thing about life. But you shouldn't be all overt with that kind of stuff. And this is a thing too. I mean, I don't want to lecture my fellow INFJ YouTubers, but quit working your angles. Just stop it. Quit worrying about your views. Quit worrying about your this is and your that's and your whatevers, your popularities. This is a trap they get us to fall into. And INFJ, I think we're just as susceptible to this as any other type, in spite of our deeper insight into things. It's just natural to want to be acknowledged, I think, for your existence, especially if you manage to get it together to the point where you're creating something, like you're a content creator. Well, that's a significant accomplishment. I think it is, and it's natural to want to be a more popular content creator, but we need to watch out, because a lot of other things come into play, and they bring up various aspects of your dark side that will be having an effect on your life and your persona, because of the aims you end up pursuing. So be careful with that. Just a word to the wise. You might ask, "Oh, what are you doing here, INFJ?" And I tell you why. I'm just here to chat. That's it. I'm here to put up my stuff and share my POV. That's the word of the year, POV. POV with you, my friends. Okay, so that's enough of that. Now, so that was the topic of "Don't Tell Me How to Feel or What I Am," INFJ channels. Because I hate that. Okay, here's the other thing I wanted to talk about. Other people. Yeah, isn't that another way of saying hell? Other people. Especially other people that are inconsiderate and unconscious. It's a problem. What do you do with it? And most of the time, if you're peace loving and you're peace seeking, and I think the INFJ profile is that definitely that of a peace seeking individual, harmony seeking. You like your peace and you like your quiet, and you don't mess with other people, and you expect them not to be messing with you, and that's reasonable. But what do you do when you're faced with that not being the way things are? Is a real challenge in this life, I think, and one could resort to, and that's the other thing I wanted to talk about, was magic. In fact, we'll just go there. you could resort to casting magic spells, like maybe a wish a disease on them or something if they're really impinging upon your peace, you know, or you'll just imagine them disappearing into a black void, no escape. I personally, my personal take on magic is that I believe it's a real thing, it's a real phenomenon. I believe that, I entertain a belief, I should say, because I really don't believe in anything other than that I exist. We've established that. So if I ever say I believe something, I mean I just entertain the belief. So I entertain the belief that magic is a real thing, it has a real effect in the real world, and can be practiced by people that have that are adepts, that have looked into it. But this is also my thought about that. Every time that you start getting into overt mechanics of trying to make things happen, you're accruing, you could call it karma, you could just call it that you're attracting certain forces and energies to you. So it's the principle of every action has a opposite reaction. So if you start putting out manipulative spells into the ether to affect results, you may get the results you're looking for, and you may get a lot more than you bargained for. So personally, I don't engage with magic or magic practices other than in the form of creating art, which I think honestly is the ultimate form of magic, and the best use of it is to be an artist and to express yourself. And getting back to what we were saying earlier, where maybe some people that are creating INFJ channels, for example, they want to express themselves in their POV, which is admirable, you know. But on the other hand, you can cross a threshold where you become not a fine artist, so to speak, but a commercial artist. So if you're creating topics that are designed to build up your channel, and everything that you do is building on the next thing, which you would expect. I think you would expect that if what you're doing is reaching some people in an organic way, but you've got to be careful. Yeah. And actually just speaking itself, getting back into magic, is a magic spell. When we are communicating, we are creating worlds with our words. And they have an effect on other people that tune into them. And this touches on another thing I was thinking about, and this ties directly into art, but it could also tie into language, and it could also tie into unconscious people that aren't being respectful of the public space. And that is that you have to have a sensitivity to artwork or music or writing. And many times, with music, I think this is especially true as well. Music could be, a song could be the greatest song ever, but you may not have ears to hear it, you know. And same thing goes for a story or a book you're reading. It could have all the truths that are necessary to completely suss this reality. But if it's not resonating with you at the right time and place, you don't have eyes to read, you don't have eyes to see. It's going to be something hopefully maybe you'll be able to come back to if it did have all the answers. Don't know. Yeah, the last thing I want to talk about is I just was following this video by this guy who was talking about labor and capital. I know, right at the end. But it's going to be one of the struggles we see coming up this year. And the point he makes, his name is David Shapiro, I believe. And he has a channel on post-labor and AI and things like that. And he's researching. He's a good guy, and he's smart. And one of the things he's saying is that traditionally labor and capital have been at odds with each other. But they do not necessarily need to be. As a matter of fact, we're going to see what kind of world that is coming up. Because without people to purchase things, capital is meaningless. And labor is going to be, being provided by other entities. That's it for today, INFJ. Till I come back, keep on keeping on.